Hello and welcome everyone to episode number 57 at the Indie Football Podcast. Slowly yet steadily, we have been increasing the amount of guests who are coming. And speaking of guests, I am just glad to have yet another Real Madrid fan in our podcast. His name is Kamal Ramchandani. I hope I have pronounced his surname right. Hello, Kamal. We have met once before, but thank you for being here. And how are you feeling today?
I am feeling very enthusiastic and excited to look forward to you guys on the podcast. And I
Yeah,
hope I come again and again with you guys.
that's exactly what we hope as well, Anukash bhai. Since we have so many YouTube lives as well these days, where we talk literally about any other big team in the world, so we hope you will join us in those YouTube lives as
Right.
well. Anukash sir, I have shared this story with you. The first time when I came across Kamal was when we were at. I mean, I was at one of the screenings for Real. I think it was
Yeah,
the
at
Copa.
Warsaw in social, the Copa del Rey final.
Yeah, the Copa del Rey final. I didn't go to the Warsaw one. I had gone to the one here in Marol. So since Warsaw was too far from my place, I had just opted out of it. But Anukar sir, yeah, I think Liverpool and Real Madrid are the top two teams in our podcast when it comes to fans and the episodes we have done them. Right?
Absolutely. I think we have to keep a certain bias with the clubs we support. Just kidding, that's not the case. But yeah, having Kamal is great because he was himself very enthusiastic about coming on the podcast. And welcome, Kamal, to the Indie Football Podcast. It's great having you. And I would like to tell our viewers that although your name is Kamal, we don't have any political, symbolism with this podcast that we are trying to promote. But yeah, jokes apart, it's great having you here. And I saw while talking to Kamal how enthusiastic and how excited he was about talking about Real, and he told me straight up, "Ki, bro, I am a Real fan. मैं तो Real," and he was like, "Ki, I know how much he has supported the club. You could like kind of see it in the way he was talking, and it's great having him here, especially at a time when Mbappe seems up for sale."
Thank you so
Absolutely.
much for having me.
Yeah, I mean, since we are at the topic, and I think Anukasha, this is the first time when we are talking so much about the person in our podcast. Even before we get to the topics, I have one additional point, especially from when I had gone to those screening. Is for me, it was because of the outgoing or extrovert personality that I have. I was okay doing that, but virtually my work for that screening was not as much to watch the match, but to probably go and network with fans out there, try to understand how they interact and just observe them. And I remember observing Kamal. He had come with a couple of his other friends whom had also tagged along for the halftime reaction thing, and just their reactions to different things were just top tier. So I mean, Kamal, now that you are here, we are very excited to start off with the conversations. And the first win, of course, Anukar sir briefly mentioned about the Mbappe Madrid transfer saga. I mean, in my opinion, I feel PSG have been trying to put pressure on Madrid by leaking reports and rumors suggesting that other clubs could secure the signing of Mbappe. Kamal bhai, as a die-hard Real Madrid fan, if anyone follows you on Instagram, they'll know by the numerous amount of stories you keep sharing on Real. What do
Yeah.
you think? What are your opinions on this entire Mbappe Madrid thing?
Uh, as per my research over Mbappe has been like, see, Mbappe has been a diehard fan of Real Madrid. He has been a Madridista just like me and many people I know. So I just hope that he stays in that Madridista zone and comes to Real Madrid.
Yeah.
And I hope that money thirsty Mbappe doesn't come back.
And
Okay.
Anukar sir, that's a big word because PSG have not, sorry, currently Real Madrid have not started negotiating the potential signing of Kylian Mbappe away from PSG. Even though the French club, as I said, are trying to put pressure and all sorts of things, but PSG want to end this saga by selling Mbappe as soon as possible, and the player himself has not approved his departure just yet. So for a football fan in the transfer season where there's not really a lot of football action going on, the it does not matter if you are an Mbappe fan or a PSG fan or a Real fan, even if you're a Liverpool fan, wink wink, there is something that you could probably sense coming out. There is a lot of anticipation around it, right?
Absolutely. I mean, even I have felt that, the whole Mbappe saga has, turned everyone around, turned everything upside down in the transfer market. I'm sure Kamal Bhai would agree with me on that. Because if you look at it, like, no, after last year, everyone was expecting Mbappe to stay put for at least a couple of years. But then the report came out, and much to the delight of I'm saying Real fans, that the PSG feel that in 2024 Real have an agreement for Mbappe, right? And
Yeah.
now he's being linked to all the Saudi clubs, and also, of course, it's a very messy saga for all parties involved at this point of time. Of course, Premier League and Spanish clubs are trying for him. Like, of course, by Spanish clubs, I mainly mean Barca only, other than Real. But let's see, it's going to be one hell of a summer. It has been one hell of a summer so far with some big signings like Declan Rice, and what we can say is that it's going to be one hell of a ride. And talking about this, Kamal, I would come to you. One thing that has come to Real in actual, full fruition is Jude Bellingham. What are your views on that?
I saw his game in last game against AC Milan, and in my opinion, he was pretty good. And a bit unlucky with that shot blocked by Tomori.
Hmm.
Otherwise, it would have been a great debut for him.
Right.
But all
Absolutely.
over, it was a good, and I am really excited to see him in competitive games in further season in UCL, in La Liga, in El Clasico especially.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I one thing that I have to add here is, again, I mean, I was averse, or I was not reading it enough, so you probably, Anukarsa, did not hear it in the last 2 to 3 episodes, but I am continuing reading the book called Soccernomics. Kamal, if you have heard about this book, it's just based on how different clubs have over years been more proficient with their signings, with their transfers and manager things. There are lots of things. I mean, if you are a football fan, I would definitely recommend that to you. One interesting concept that they spoke about yesterday, I mean, in the chapter that I was reading yesterday, was about relocation. So when a player is signed by a big club, and especially if it's a foreign club for the player, and if the player is young, like Jude Bellingham, like what I think is 2019 or 20 now, this entire move from being an English guy, of course, he was playing for Dortmund. So from a German neighborhood to going to a Spanish neighborhood in the Madrid neighborhood, the big clubs, they really expect, the new players to just deal with it. Here is the amount of money that we are paying you, and you have to figure everything out on your own, which is a criticism that I saw in that book regarding Real Madrid, which is not the case, because overall Real Madrid are in the good books for most of the books written out there. So, in my opinion, which I also learned, and I think it's a learning for all of us, that Microsoft senior executives, when they get shifted, transferred to a new office in international places,
Mm.
their entire families are given a relocation consultant for their kids to settle down in the neighborhood and other things. So it's a thing that football fans like us don't observe very much. But as you said, Kamal Bhai, Bellingham is a talent, is a big talent, and we have only seen him in one match yesterday against AC Milan. And about that match, let's, now that we have got to that, and you mentioned that Real were 2-0 down, and they could have potentially lost it, but Real Madrid, being Real, they won it 3-2. So what are your overall observations, reactions from that match?
As always, Real Madrid giving their fans a temporary heart attacks,
Yeah.
and thanks to the great player, my personally the most favorite player in the current squad, Federico Valverde,
Yeah.
El Halcyon or El Halcon, whatever they say. My future goat, like no Mbappe, no Haaland. My future goat is Federico Valverde. Like I
Yeah.
have been seeing him for a long time, and he is just next level. Something words can't define him.
But I feel, Anukar sir, if you have seen Kamal's WhatsApp profile picture, I was thinking, I have seen Kamal. So this, from that small, I had not enlarged the profile picture at that time. So I feel this is a pretty nice picture, and I went up and saw it. it's Valverde's picture. Not saying, not taking anything away from how handsome Kamal is, but then from the very beginning part, I thought that, Valverde being the profile picture for a Real Madrid fan says how much of a Valverde fan he is. But I mean, I just wanted to stay on the Mbappe point a bit further. Like Anukar sir, French media like L'Equipe and Le Parisien have reported this Monday that other big clubs like Barcelona have entered the race for Mbappe, while Saudi Arabia's Al Hilal have offered apparently 17 crores per day offer for Mbappe for people, because many fans in my college are also saying they would probably Mbappe would take it up because he can move to Madrid as a free agent next year. What do you think is, if you are Mbappe, which is a difficult thing, everyone just sees the glamour
I am
part.
about the same age. I mean, I can think of myself in that way. Just with lower net worth, relatively.
But being Mbappe at this point of time isn't easy, right? I mean, there are probably 100 things going in his mind. Anukar sir, what do you think is, how do you think this entire saga is going to conclude in the next couple of weeks?
See, I mean, as I said, like, this has been a long drawn out saga, and of course, like, there is a lot of money involved. There, of course, the Saudi club, I'm sure Kamal Bhai would know about it, has offered a lot of money. Paris has also accepted, it has also been accepted in Paris, like, at this point of time. And, but I don't really think that Mbappe is going to go to Saudi, especially when he's at the peak of his career. And I think what he has been looking for is, to gain that recognition, which has been kind of missing, because what he has been doing with PSG has been largely put down to the tag of the Farmers League, right?
Yeah.
So I think that is something which he's working upon, that image he's trying to create. Because money, I'm sure he can earn anywhere for that matter. Of course, what he's being offered in Saudi is like, something surreal, 17 crore rupees a day. That's
Yeah.
what they were telling about. And I would like to tell everyone that that's not how much we charge from our guests. So yeah, you are free to come on the Indie Football Podcast, as of now at least. And jokes apart, the fact remains that he's one hell of a player, and that's why it has been one hell of a ride with how everyone is fighting it out among themselves. But Kamal bhai, I had come to know that so as we know that Real at this point of time, you like they are a club which has made some smart signings. And what do you think about Arda Güler's role? Because I think he's someone who has come in the media a lot of times, and the training videos of him shooting, scoring those goals have been there all over. So important do you think he is, and do you think that he's a more important signing than Jude Bellingham?
Uh, I think he's a great future investment. Like we had Federico Valverde from our own academy, and as a backup for now, I think he can work really well. He's like a great option at the right flank, as I have seen reports and all, the videos and all about him. He is also known as the region of our legend Mesut Ozil, and
Masood, yeah.
frankly speaking,
And
he looks
Arsenal
like his
legend too.
region. Yeah, Arsenal legend too. Not gonna lie, he was great there too.
Yeah, you were saying something. Please continue.
Yeah, he can be like an attacking midfielder, right midfielder, right wing as well. Work as center forward. Maybe he can play like the number 10 role very perfectly whenever
Mm-hmm.
given chance.
Yeah,
Makes
I
sense.
mean,
Makes sense.
now that we have spoken so much about Mbappe and what could possibly be and how PSG is trying to maneuver Real Madrid into trying to get him. But one last thing that I want to ask from this topic to Kamal is that, Los Blancos, as Real Madrid is known as, they have not approached PSG yet and would be keen on waiting a few more weeks, is what I'm reading around. So as a Real fan of, do you feel like, "Arey yaar, what is Real Madrid doing? We should capture this opportunity at the earliest," or you feel you find sense in whatever tactics Real is currently adopting when it comes to acquiring Kylian Mbappe?
I think I trust in Papa Perez.
Sorry, Papa Perez.
He's a great man. If he if he brought that Figo thing into
Figo.
Real Madrid,
Yeah, Luis Figo, of course. I mean, ये Luis Figo का, I mean, there's a documentary all also. कमल भाई, अगर आपने वो documentary देखा भी है, then this entire Real Madrid Barcelona thing is हम इनिशियली ऑफ कोर्स इफ यू हैव फॉलोड आवर पॉडकास्ट एपिसोड्स अर्लियर, मैं ये बोलता रहता हूँ कि भाई आई हैव नॉट वॉच्ड फुटबॉल फॉर द लॉन्गेस्ट टाइम, बट देयर इज समथिंग अबाउट रियल मैड्रिड जिससे आप पहली बार देखते हो, देन देयर इज एन ऑरा अराउंड देम. सो ऑफ कोर्स हमने इतना एम्बापे के बारे में बात किया, हमने इतना now let's talk about another Real Madrid legend, and of course something that we had decided to speak throughout the course of this episode is Ronaldo and MLS ka controversy. I mean, of course, everyone knows that Ronaldo completed a surprise switch to Al Nassr last December after being released by Manchester United. And Ronaldo has now defended his decision to move to Saudi Arabia and has taken an apparent dig at Messi also, who chose to leave PSG for Inter Miami on a free transfer this summer. The reason I'm saying all this because one of the quotes that he straight away mentioned is how Saudi Pro League is better than MLS, is what Ronaldo said after taking part in a friendly against Celta Vigo, which the Spanish side ran out 5-0 winners. So basically, Celta Vigo defeating Al Nassr 5-0. And I'm assuming being a Real Madrid fan, आप Ronaldo fan भी रहे होगे, तो this entire 1 year of Saudi Arabia, Saudi League में Ronaldo के रहने के बाद में observe, what are your observations और आपको क्या लगता है what's the future of Ronaldo and the Saudi Pro League given that कितने सारे players अभी वहां जा रहे हैं.
Ronaldo once said Saudi Pro League is going to be among the top 5 league in the world.
Yeah.
I strongly agree with that thing. As we all saw the
Right, right, right. I think there's some.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I think there's some internet connection
hello.
problem. Yeah, yeah.
yes,
Hi,
yes,
hi, Kamal. Yeah, yeah.
we have
Continue.
got you back. You can
Yeah,
continue.
Huh.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
As we
Please.
all saw that current Ballon d'Or winner
Yeah.
Karim Benzema moved to Al Hilal,
Yes.
and then
Yeah.
N'Golo Kante, and followed by Ruben Neves, and all those
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's
Riyad
interesting.
Mahrez also moved to this.
Yeah, I think that's interesting. While Kamal Bhai's internet is slightly choppy, and we would probably get that sorted out in a minute. One thing that I wanted to ask, I was going to say one thing that I wanted to ask Ronaldo, but fair enough, I can't do that right now. But as of now, I will probably ask Anukar sir on Ronaldo. Is that Ronaldo mentioned that I am 100% sure I won't return to any European club.
I'm sorry, I'm interrupting, but I
Yeah,
have
yeah,
to
please,
just
please.
quote one thing.
Yeah,
Uh, I just want to tell those toxic people out there, those toxic Barca Messi fans who
yeah,
are saying that Ronaldo is obsessed with Messi.
yeah,
Uh, just think for a second. A reporter asks you, what color is your favorite, red or pink?
yeah.
Ron- फर्ज कीजिए आप वो रिपोर्टर हो, अनुकर
Ah,
सर, एंड आप रोनाल्डो हो,
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
एंड मैं वो फैन हूँ.
yeah.
Right, right. ठीक है कमल भाई.
सर
हाँ.
आपने इनको पूछा कि इनका फेवरेट कलर रेड है या ये पिंक.
गुलाबी.
Right.
Yeah.
हाँ.
इनने कहा कि मुझे पिंक नहीं पसंद, मुझे रेड पसंद है.
Ah,
हाँ,
हाँ.
तो मैं एज अ बारसा फैन इनके करंट सिचुएशन के हिसाब से ऐसे कह रहा हूँ कि तुमने मेसी के कलर को हेट कैसे किया. मेसी की करंट जर्सी का कलर पिंक है, तो तुमने पिंक को हेट कैसे किया.
अच्छा. Okay.
yeah. That's a fair
That's an
point.
interesting,
जी,
interesting
ऐसा
point
होता है.
actually.
ऐसा होता है.
हाँ.
Absolutely, I do get that because Anukar sir, while I was going to ask about how Ronaldo mentioned, no,
Like
I
it's all clear, and a reporter asks Ronaldo, "What's your favorite?" and you say that. Sorry.
yeah, you can go ahead. You can go ahead.
Yeah, you can go
Like
ahead.
my
Please, please, please. It's your
internet is
take your.
uh,
Yeah, yeah, please go ahead.
as a reporter, person asked him that what color is your, I mean, what league do you think is better,
Yeah.
Saudi or MLS?
Hmm.
Uh-huh.
He said the current league I am playing in is better than MLS in his opinion.
Yeah.
And
Right.
those fans are bantering his opinion
Yeah.
by saying he's obsessed with Messi. And I found no
Mhm.
logic in that bantering thing.
Yeah, I think it's a ongoing debate of our generation
Mhm.
because while I do believe we should be grateful enough to witness both Messi and Ronaldo in the same era, but I strongly believe Kamal has a fair point here. In my years of experiencing the fandom in football, of understanding Messi fans, of understanding Ronaldo fans, there should be an appreciation for the skills and talent for both these players. At the same time, there needs to be a line that needs to be respected when you are lovers of sport and you do understand that both people, if there was no Messi, people would not have appreciated the greatness of Ronaldo and vice versa. So being a sports management student, we are often taught about how important competition is a part of sports, and your rival is probably what makes you as big and as famous as you are among your fans. So I believe whatever is at the end of the day, this rivalry is one of the biggest reasons why football has been able to advance with what Messi and Ronaldo have been doing. And it's a fair point, Kamal, that you mentioned. Now coming back to what I wanted to ask Anukar sir, and I'll probably, Kamal, you can contribute what you think about it after that. Is that I just picked up some quotes that Ronaldo said. He said, "I'm 100% sure I won't return to any European club." And then he mentions, "I opened the way to the Saudi Pro League, and now all the players are coming here." So, Anukar sir, don't you think it's like one thing that I love about Ronaldo is that he is what he is. There's no pretense. He will walk the talk, and he walks around like he's the alpha male, which he is. So what he claims here is true, right? After he was the first big name to go to the Saudi Pro League, which then got a lot more sponsorships, a lot more viewership. The business of sports when it came to Saudi Pro League improved, and now players are following suit, right, Anukar sir?
Absolutely. There's this very famous dialogue from one of my favorite shows. No, one of my favorite shows, Suits. It's called. Phrased as, "It's not bragging if it is true." And I think
Yeah,
that is the case with Cristiano Ronaldo. Honestly, since he has, there's that sort of little, that sort of attitude that he carries, and it's required, honestly, at that level. And I think that is what has made him what he is today, right? And that's one of the reasons what how he has reached that level. And I think he plays with that desire that he's the best in the world. When he gets up in the morning, he knows that. And I think that is something some people might not like it. Like, of course, when you are at the top, I think you are bound to have haters. And What I would say is that we have seen that with Cristiano Ronaldo, that and even with Messi, like they have a lot of haters, but then they have a lot of lovers also. They have a lot of fans also, and there's a reason because they polarize opinion. I agree, but
yeah,
that is the thing. That is the epitome of their greatness, about how amazing they are on the field and how they have balanced games, how they have even been able to absolutely dislodge the opposition defenders out of their very comfort zone. And I think that's what makes them what they are today. That's what makes fans like you, I, and Kamal follow the sport as we know it. And I think the Cristiano Ronaldo, the Lionel Messi era that we talk about, we are lucky to be here, isn't it, Kamal bhai? Aren't we like super
Of course
lucky
we
to
are.
be in this era?
I mean, in my opinion, toxicity should be out of this game because this game isn't meant to be hated for
yeah,
anyone.
yeah,
Like, I have seen lately those toxic fans, even like at moments, I like transform into one.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
if
it's
I
true.
see any comment about Ronaldo, then toxic Messi fan, calling him Penaldo, Camel League merchant, my that toxic Kamal comes out and comments back that
Materializes,
ah,
manifests, right?
especially LGBTQ league merchant and all that.
Yeah, yeah, far from ideal. Yeah, I
Of
mean,
course, I will do it because Cristiano is God for me. I literally treat him as my own God.
Yeah.
If anyone would say anything like that, I would be triggered.
Yes, definitely. But Kamal bhai, now that we are at it, I would also like to ask you one more question, like which is similar to what Anukash replied, but feel free to add more. Like Ronaldo started a trend of aging players moving to the Saudi Pro League, right? With the likes of Benzema, Kante, Brozovic, Roberto Firmino, of course. Anukash sir still cries about it every single day. Among the players who
Yeah,
have
yeah.
switched to the
Under the
big,
pillow.
yeah, under the pillow. Yeah, and these are some of the big players who have switched to the big spending Gulf League this summer. So, do you agree with Ronaldo when he says that they are going to be one of the big leagues in the years to come? Kamal bhai.
Absolutely. Like we have seen his influence. He One small glimpse of his influence was during the Euro 2020 when he
Yeah,
just pushed the Coca-Cola bottle at another side, and we
and
saw the billions of dollars
correct.
of loss Coca-Cola having.
Yeah, I mean that's the influence of the man.
That was just a glimpse of that influence,
Yeah,
and we
true.
have seen him like crossing the barriers of like millions of followers on Instagram. Like no one is even near to him.
Absolutely, the numbers are clearly in millions. Yeah, I mean,
Hundreds of millions actually.
and that of course, and one last thing that I wanted to add, and of course we have spoken about this, the entire football world knows about it, that Ronaldo moving to Saudi Arabia, and of course he's not married to his partner Georgina, but the entire government, they changed the rules of the country to ensure Ronaldo is able to stay with his partner in the way that he can, because he's not married, and in that country married couples can't stay together. But that's just, in my opinion, it does not matter which industry you are from or what you are doing. If you are as a person, for you, countries, governments, and it's not any insignificant country. Saudi in the entire world map has a recognition of themselves, and they are changing rules, then you are definitely probably the greatest of our times. uh, and now I would also like to discuss more about, as we go forward, what are the other things in Real Madrid that you are seeing moving forward. Tony Cruz, Luka Modric, they have signed 1 year extensions, and of course, as emotional as it is, people are also, Real Madrid are also probably preparing players like Kamavinga and Xiaomeni. Yes, of course, Kamavinga, Xiaomeni, and other players as successors for them. What do you think lies ahead for Real Madrid in the next 12 months, in the next season, Kamal bhai?
Uh, for this season, I think it would be a bit hectic season for Madrid as they have too many options in their first team for midfield. Like
Yeah.
who to start, who to bench, and all that trauma for Carlo Ancelotti. I think Carlo Ancelotti should make some changes in formation, which could
Yeah.
really help for this season. And in my opinion, I don't think so. Real Madrid will go for direct glory to UCL,
Yeah.
but they would give their 100% to the extent of their potential.
Yeah, that's true, Anukar sir. As we move to the last parts of our episode, it is very true that Kamal mentions how they won't probably in day one go and think about another UCL glory, and we have followed this sport for long enough to understand that the biggest teams, the biggest managers, the biggest players of our era, they don't look long term, but they are looking to the next match, the next day. So, as a Liverpool fan, what are certain things about Real Madrid currently? As a non-Real Madrid fan, what do you think makes Real Madrid a potent force for the next season, not only in La Liga but more importantly in Champions League?
Absolutely. I mean, Real have absolutely destroyed Liverpool whenever they have played in the Champions League. This season they cannot because Liverpool is not playing in the Champions League. So, haha, jokes on you guys. And that apart, fact remains that they have not only really played well. I think Benzema has been very integral to their success, and it will take some time replacing the talisman. But yeah, of course, if they can get Mbappe in, then nothing like that. Of course, and we have talked enough about him. But yeah, Kylian Mbappe is Kylian Mbappe. But I think this is a time of transition when it comes to Real's attack, especially. It will take a bit of time, but I won't be surprised though if they still challenge for the Champions League this season, because like that's the thing with great teams. They just have that spirit, that mentality to keep them going, and I think Real are definitely one of them.
Yeah, absolutely. And Kamal bhai, even though I started following football in 2020, but Real Madrid, as I said, just have got that thing around themselves. And of course, I'm sure you must have watched those documentary in Amazon Prime. There are two separate documentaries. One is called the Black and White, the Legend in Black and White, and then there's a Real Madrid.
All in one. Oh, sorry, not all in one. That was
All or
something
Nothing
like
was one, and the Legend in
nothing
Black
and
and
all.
White is
Nothing and all.
another. Yeah, correct, correct, correct. So, do you are you also the one who engages in a lot of online sports content, or do you just follow the matches and you're limited to that?
No, no, I do follow the online content. Like I've been following some people, not only just indie football podcast. Thanks to you guys,
Oh,
I've been like
we won't mind if
touched
you
too
are
many
following
ones.
only us when it comes to football, though. So,
Absolutely, huh? You can put up a story every day. I don't mind.
yeah, of course. Yeah.
Like I'll be now flexing that I was on a podcast with indie football postcard and Anukarshan and all that.
Anukash and all that. I just like how you smoothly did not pronounce my name. I'm
No,
just
your name
used to
is a
that
It's
bit
though
now. Like,
different.
that's like
Kilometers
one
so
of the
far.
first things, that's what the guests pay
I'm so
for,
sorry.
just to pronounce Doi clearly.
So, can you please just break down your name so that I can pronounce it
yeah, of
properly?
course. So my name is Doi Pa Yan. You can just divide into three parts. Doi Pa Yan. You
We are
can
Sorry,
putting
practice.
this out as a
sorry,
reel for
sorry,
our
sorry, sorry.
guests.
You would
And,
in the
Anukash
next
and
time.
Zoe Payan. Okay.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Next
yeah,
time you do it
Or
better.
I'll call you Mr. Mukherjee.
Yeah,
Sounds
of
better.
course. Helps,
yeah, yeah.
helps. But
Like
on that
Suarez and Sturridge.
yeah, absolutely. But thank you Kamal for taking out the time to do this. We do recognize the Real Madrid fan in you, and of course, even though it's an interesting fan segment, fan behavior learning for all of us, when someone comes and tells us how much it triggers them when it comes to someone saying something about their favorite team, favorite player. Anukar sir, even though we have done a lot of Real Madrid episodes, bringing just knowing Kamal's experiences, his point of view is just another day where we are just happy to be doing and running this podcast, right?
Absolutely, it's about bringing the fans closer. And I remember we had our first guest in Anshul who was very passionate when it came to the Al.
Yeah.
I can see vibes of that in Kamal, and it's great having you here. It was great having you here, and we look forward to doing more YouTube lives and all in the future with you, Kamal. And having passionate fans like you is what keeps us going. It's what is kind of entails with us when it comes to the why of our podcast, which is about creating that difference in the footballing culture in India. And thanks
Yes.
to you, it's people like you which make us work harder for what we do. And thank you so much for coming to the Football Podcast.
Thanks for having me a lot. It has motivated me a lot lately because I have a problem of stage fear. I can't speak on like cameras and all lately. So
But
this podcast will also help me in my personality development.
yeah, I
Thanks to
mean,
you guys.
but I think if that's the case, you have done an exceptionally great job in conversing, in like verbalizing your opinions. And one of the last bits that I'd share before we call out a day here is, while joining this sports management course that I'm doing here in Mumbai, one of our professors mentioned one clear difference between the sports management students of India and the sports management students abroad. There is no difference when it comes to skills, when it comes to talent, when it comes to passion. But the only difference and the only criteria where Indian sports management students sometimes lag behind is their expression and their ability to verbalize their thoughts. So I really want to give it to Kamal to, even though he acknowledges that he has this stage fright, but he's embracing it. And I think, Kamal, you have done a great job while at it. And as Anukar sir mentioned, we are looking forward to keeping in touch with you, calling you in many of our YouTube lives. And for everyone who has been with us so far, thank you for listening to this till this point. Please don't forget to follow us on our social media handles. Instagram, Anukar sir has become a pro when it comes to reels now. Twitter, LinkedIn, and also Threads. We are putting out such informative content there. Till next week with another Kamal fan, maybe Kamal type fan of Real Madrid or any other club, given the transfer segment or any other segment. We are very excited to do all this and see you then. Good night,
Thank you.
everyone.
Thank you so much, guys.